So I've only had the bike a day and already I'm going to start tinkering with it. I'm going to be making probably the biggest modification to it to hopefully transform this little Brompton into a bike packing beast. So a lot of the areas I'm going to be riding around are quite hilly. That includes Sheffield. So the first job is to overhaul the gearing to make things a little bit easier on the hills. I don't think I need this for a little bit. So this is a 6-speed Brompton. You've got 3 gears on the Sturmey Archer hub, which is internally inside here. Then you've got 2 gears that's controlled by this lever, which allows me to change between the 2 sprockets here. So in total, that makes 6 gears. The problem I've got though is this chainring at the front. It's quite large. I think it's a 50 tooth, which means pedalling up hills can be a little bit problematic. But when I picked the bike up, Andrew also said, because of where I live, would you like this as well? So there's a 39 tooth chainring on there. And what size is the other one? 50, I think that's a 50 tooth as well. My eyes are not what they used to be. So I'm going to switch that chainring off and swap it with that one. So that gives me the option then of a 50 tooth and a 39 tooth for when it's really hilly. That's the plan anyway. It would be a lot easier if I had one of those frame clamp things to hold the bike up, but workshop on the street will do. This was how I used to do it as a kid. Bike upside down. Right, I need to get these pedals off, get the crank off. This one's a bit weird. I think you have to feels like you should be screwing it in. So you turn it clockwise to loosen it. There we go. Next job is these crank arms. So I have to unscrew these first. It's like a party going off on the street. I've not been invited. There we go. It's just a little screw there. That won't pull out. I need a crank puller for that. Same with this one, look. Unscrew that. There we go. Right, then I need this little tool. This is called a crank extractor or something. I'm not sure. Just need to unscrew this and then screw that into there. Make sure not to cross thread it. Get it nice and tight. Well, thumb tight anyway. Right, then I just screw this in till it butts up to the crankshaft or whatever it's called, and then finish it off with the Allen key just to ease this off. I am going to take the chain off though, so I'll just loosen the chain off like that and then tighten this and just pull it off, and this will pull off the crank. Here we go. And then I just unscrew this little nut and then do the same on the other side. Just needs nipping off. And screw this into the other side of the crank. Keep having to do this in between the music. Usually a very peaceful street. So it's the same thing in reverse now. So I've got to line up that little square shaft with this square hole, put it on here like that, and just put this screw in, and that should lock everything in place. And then the other crank arm, just make sure it goes opposite. It'd be hard to pedal if they were both facing the same way, wouldn't it? I'll just pop the chain back on. I'll put it on the smaller cog, the 39 tooth one. Check that that spins around all right. I'll have to check all the gears and everything as I'm riding it. But now when it's on the hilly areas, I've got a smaller front chain ring. And if we go somewhere a little bit flatter, just grab a twig or use my finger and just switch it onto the larger chain ring. There we go. Obviously I've got to do this manually every time, but hilly environments, I'll just use a small chain ring. Flatter environments, I use a large chain ring. I've seen people on YouTube, they actually flick this with the feet while they're riding. Very clever. I won't be doing that though. Anyway, I'm gonna get some pedals on and we'll see if it all works. All right, wish me luck. So at the minute, I'm in the lowest gear, 1 and on minor. So that is so easy to pedal. Let me just put it up 1. That puts it on 2 inside the hub, which is much easier as well. So it feels like all the gears are working. Yep, good to go. Hopefully this is going to be much better on the hills. We shall see in a moment. This is the lowest gear now and it's pretty straightforward. I know I'm pedaling obviously because it's uphill and I'm not used to riding a bike. Thank you, Andrew, again. In a minute I'll try it all on the larger chain ring. Not uphill though. Right, I'm just going to push the chain over a little bit with my shoe. And we're on the larger chain ring. See how that goes. Look at that orange sky. So I'm on the larger chain ring. Not the highest gear. This is the highest gear now. On a flat road. Motoring a little bit. Pretty easy going. Switch between the other gears just to see if they work all right. Yeah. Yeah, all seems really good. Looks like success. So yeah, I'm just going to use the smaller chain ring for Sheffield really. We'll test it out on the hill in a second. Need to keep my eye on the road and off the sky. Doesn't matter whether you're on foot, whether you're on pedals, in a car. You just got to stop and enjoy the sunset. There we go, back on the little chain ring. All right, quick hill test, let's get it in the bottom gear. Yeah. So much easier. Although, you've still got to put a shift in. Right, that's the gearing sorted. Got some new grips to swap out tomorrow. I'm going to swap these for some of those Ergon grips. And I just need a little bag to go on there. Then I'm all set for my first bike packing adventure. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.